Yeah, I'll react to that, sure.
In Belgorod. Well, first of
I have no idea. I heard about it. People on Discord were telling me, but I was so confused because I had been watching the news that day on a couple different channels and sources. I got my phone too. And I didn't really see anything about it. I did eventually see, but I figured such a big development would. So I don't know a lot about this at all. It's a short video, but it can give me a little insight. Preemptive like Forces News. Hi guys, my name's Connor. How are you? Good, I hope. The original link to the video, top of the description. Below that, link to the Discord. Would love to have you. Makes it easier for me to interact with you, see your recommendations, get to know you. Let's go. Yeah, what happened?
So what happened in Belgorod? Well, first of all, where is it? It's a region of Russia just across the border, just north of the Ukrainian city of Kharkiv. Now, information about what happened is really being pieced together from social media, from channels like Telegram, and it's difficult to tell exactly what occurred, but you can see smoke rising from this town of Kazinka, which is just across the border from Ukraine. Now, Russian officials say this was a group of saboteurs who came in from Ukraine and attacked a border checkpoint just south of Belgrade. They say they brought with them 2 tanks, an armoured personnel carrier, and 9 armoured vehicles. Ukrainian military intelligence says this was groups of Russian partisans, armed Russian opposition groups, members of the Russian Volunteer Corps and the Liberty of Russia Legion. Now, sometime later, this video was sent to the news agency Reuters, claiming to be from the Liberty of Russia Legion, and in it they are calling for an end to what they say is the dictatorship of the Kremlin.
We are Russians, just like you. We are people, just like you. We want our children to grow up in peace and be free people, so that they can travel, study, and just be happy in a free country. But this has no place in today's Putin's Russia, rotten from corruption, lies, censorship, restrictions on freedoms, repressions. In that Russia, where a person's life means less than an official's wallet.
Now, Russian social media says there was fighting going on in 3 settlements along the main road leading from the border into Russia, and that the saboteurs were being eliminated. The group themselves, though, said that they had now seized the district centre of Graveron further east into Russia. A video also surfaced on Telegram showing what it's claimed is a member of the Russian Volunteer Corps at the controls of a Russian armoured vehicle, which they say they'd seized from the Russian security services, the FSB, just near Belgorod. Ukraine itself says it had nothing to do with this incursion. So why are they doing it now? Well, the Russians say that they're doing it to draw attention away from the Russian victory in Bakhmut, this symbolic but strategically unimportant city. Now, the Wagner Group now say that they control the city centre of Bakhmut. The Ukrainians, though, say that's not the full truth, that they actually still hold certain pockets inside the city centre, and that their main force on the flanks of Bakhmut are making advances which potentially could lead to the Russians inside the city being encircled. Now, in terms of the incursion, Ukrainian officials are saying what we're seeing is the emergence of a Russian resistance movement. They won't, though, confirm or deny whether Ukraine is actually supporting them, which is leading many on social media to ask, well, if that's the case, why are these partisans driving US Humvees and MRAPs, which we know the Americans have given to Ukraine? Where exactly have they come from? Well, the whole thing's quite mysterious, and it doesn't seem to be over yet, because these partisan groups say this liberation operation is still ongoing.
So look, when it comes to any of this stuff, who did Ukraine have any involvement? Was it just Russia? I have no idea. You can't really, take the word of either side for, they're in the middle of a war, and they're going to be doing some behind the scenes stuff. So maybe, right? But so I have nothing really to say about this video, the topic of the video, but
Russians, just like...
What kind of surprises me about the war in Ukraine is that Russia seemed to have only stuff to gain from in the near future, and they have an enormous amount of land. The world is warming a bit, right? So you're going to have your a lot more open water ports that you've always wanted. And you're going to have, the Arctic Sea is going to be a big major factor in trade and military stuff in the future. You have an enormous amount of coastline in the Arctic. It really just seems like Putin. Obviously, you have NATO encroaching. You seeing them as encroaching and having more and more people, former Soviet states or Soviet-aligned countries joining NATO. And so that's scaring them or whatever. But it just seems like such a selfish thing on Putin's part, that he seems to want to not wait. He doesn't seem to care about the history of the future of Russia after he's gone, and seems to care more about him having some giant role in Russia. And he's getting older, and he wants to make some lasting impact, I guess. But man, just I feel like all you had to go, the only place you had to go was up, and that's just sad. Yeah. You clearly have it. I don't know. These are kind of obvious things, but I just kind of want to say my 2 cents there. Interesting. I'll look forward to see what happens next, and obviously, regardless of if they're Ukrainians had anything to do with it, or if they're just Russians, extremely brave people going into Russia. Very likely, knowing they could very likely be killed is admirable for sure. All right, guys, if you could fill me in a bit more about anything else, this is really a topic in a video where I'd appreciate comments. Just anything you have to say, would love to see it. All right, hope you guys are doing well. See you guys next time. Bye, guys.